Something lurks in the waters of Appalachia, and it toys with the mind. One day, while wandering the streets near the Valley Galleria, we pick up a new broadcast on our Pip-boy, the Linda Lee shortwave radio signal. Switching to it,
to the people of Appalachia, if you can hear this, know that I am in grave danger. Know that we have finally arrived. If ye possess a strong arm and an unwavering countenance, then ye be fit to fish the waters of the wasteland with us. Come find our stall at Fisherman's Rest in the Mire for the finest rods and tackle. Through our many hands, the secrets of these rivers will reveal themselves. Wait. What am I saying? What does that mean?
this is no call of a simple fisherman looking for more hired hands. That was the desperate call of somebody in pain. After listening to the radio broadcast, we begin the quest, casting off, and we can make our way to Fisherman's Rest. We find Fisherman's Rest on the northern end of the mire by the river next to the Galleria. As we approach, we see a sign outside that says Pier. Upon arrival, we find ourselves on a dock stretching out into the river. The dock ends at a little island, and we discover Fisherman's Rest. Behind the counter, in front of a wrecked ship, christened the Linda Lee, stands a man in a yellow raincoat sharpening a machete. But wait a minute. This is no man. Now there's a face only a mother could love. The fisherman points to his left at a man standing close by. The fisherman is a mutant unlike anything else we've seen in Appalachia. He has a fin growing out of the top of his skull, and out of both forearms, his hands are webbed. He has claws at the ends of his fingers, and his face is flattened, his nose completely missing, like the snout of a fish. But this design isn't completely new to us. It has a striking resemblance to the Mirelurk Kings as they were depicted in Fallout 3 and the Lake Lurks as we find them in Fallout New Vegas. Moving to the man that the fisherman pointed to, we can have a chat with Captain Raymond Clark.
Ah, a fresh face. Come to volunteer your services, have ye?
That fish thing pointed me to you.
Oh, him? He's truly a monstrous creature. Oh, he's truly a fine specimen, isn't he? A gentle soul. But never mind about that. You seem like the capable type, ideal for the job at hand. He demands that ye... Oh, we'd like ye to aid us in catching the fish round these parts. Bring us whatever ye haul out of the water. The stranger, the better.
Wait, I've got some questions for you.
What do you want to know?
Why do you want me to catch fish?
I think he wants to use them. Oh, don't worry yourself about the particulars, friend. You just bring us back 3 fish and be snappy about it.
Who is the creature I just spoke to?
He's some kind of a... Oh, he's a swell fella. He just looks a little different from you and I is all.
Are you feeling okay?
Why, I'm feeling as spry as a sea breeze, of course. Why do you ask?
Okay, sure, I'll bring you some fish.
That's good, very good. My friend here will provide all the tackle you need to get started. You had better get to it, before the tides leave you behind.
Turning to the fisherman, we can ask him for the tackle. Your friend said you have something for me. With that, we hear the sound effect of a fishing rod clanking to the ground, and we see that fishing has been enabled. The voice we heard on the radio was clearly that of Raymond Clark. He sounds here as he did then, as if he's acting under duress, as if he doesn't really want to be here, as if he's forced to be here. Remember what he said on the radio, "I'm in grave danger." And just now he seemed to want to speak about the fisherman as if he was in fear, but something was preventing him from doing so. When we asked him why he wanted fish, he said that he wants us to use them for, but then he got cut off. Who is this he? I don't get the impression that he's talking about the fisherman here. I think this he is referring to someone else. So someone or something is compelling Raymond Clark against his will to search for something in the waters of Appalachia. Now, as counterintuitive as it seems, we don't actually get a physical fishing rod in our inventory. We heard the sound effect of a fishing rod when we began the quest, and there are fishing rod junk items in the game, but we don't ever find one in our inventory. Instead, after starting the quest, the fisherman gives us 10 pieces of common bait. We can always go back to the fisherman and to Raymond Clark and trade with them, and they both sell common bait. Once we start the quest, we get like a magic fishing pole or something. To use it, we walk to the edge of any deep enough water, look at the water, and select the fish option. Now, despite the marketing art for this update depicting somebody in power armor fishing, we actually can't fish in power armor. So leaving our power armor, we find the option to fish no longer grayed out. And activating it conjures a fishing pole in our hands, and we can now fish. We see our active bait at the bottom of the screen. Currently, I'm using the common bait that I purchased, and we can toggle through the different baits in our inventory. We can change our camera view, and when ready to fish, we tap E to cast. Once the bobber gets pulled downwards, we don't hold E to start reeling. Instead, we tap E to start reeling. A minigame pops up on the screen where we have to press A and D to position the fish on our line within the view of this scanner. If successful, we catch a fish, and we can inspect our catches by pressing X. Once we've caught 3 fish, we can head back to Raymond Clark.
Have you made the catches yet?
Yeah, here they are.
Perfect. Give 'em here. They're fish, all right, but nothing special. Don't bother me friend with these. You might as well feed 'em to Linda Lee instead. Chop 'em up into fish bits before you do, though. She's eaten plenty today, and the last thing we want is giving her more indigestion.
So they're not looking for any old fish, they're looking for special fish. Presumably, if we find special fish, we give them directly to the fisherman. But these common fish need to be chopped up into bits. Heading to a nearby cooking station, we find a new option that says fish bits, and we can chop up the brook silverside, the red belly, and the sunscream into bits. Now, Linda Lee was the name of their boat. How do we feed bits to a boat? Getting closer. Oh! It's a giant hermit crab named Linda Lee. Linda Lee is eating fish bits from a trough in front of her. She appears to be mostly tame, not aggressive like the other hermit crabs we've met. Moving forward, we can deposit the fish bits in her trough. We read that Linda Lee is almost full. This means that if we give her all of our fish bits, she will become full and reward us. As a reward, we got a legendary item. In the future, when we come back with fish bits, she'll be ravenous and hungry. She won't be quite full yet. We only get a new legendary item once we completely fill her up. To completely fill up Linda, we need to deposit 25 fish bits. We have about an 8% chance to receive a 1 to 3 star legendary melee or ranged weapon, a 12.5% chance to receive a 1 to 3 star legendary piece of body armor, and around a 4% chance to receive a 1 to 3 star piece of power armor. But if these weren't the kinds of fish that the fisherman wanted, how do we get fish that he wants? Heading back to Raymond Clark.
Did you feed the beast, like I asked?
Yes, and she regurgitated this when I fed her.
I can't say I'm too surprised. Once she's filled that cavernous stomach and gulped down enough fish, something always comes back up. God knows what else she's got in that belly of hers. And how many innocent... Anyways, thanks for your help, friend. Keep your eyes open for any rare beauties out there. She's especially fond of anything that gleams. And make sure you come back soon. There's still plenty of places to cast your net. I have some work for you, if you have the time.
With that, we complete the quest. Despite the lore being that we give fish to the fisherman for some untoward reason, the gameplay loop appears to be catching fish, chopping them up, and feeding them to Linda Lee, not turning them into the fisherman. I never caught any glowing fish, but I did catch a number of local rarities and medium-sized fish, but no matter what I caught, the fisherman was never interested. But we can talk to Clark again, because it sounds like he needs more help.
Pay no mind to my friend here. He's got a skin condition. The water calls you. Will you answer its summons?
Will there be payment involved?
Was it too much to hope for charity in these parts? I'll pay ye. This must be done.
You look like you could use a bit of help.
Aye, that I do. I'm in dire need of it. The art of fishing is one that is long lost, but greatly needed now more than ever. I need you to go fishing for me. You can keep whatever you catch. Your actions carry quite a bit of weight out here. I'm hoping that when others see you out there fighting the waves, they'll join in and help preserve this ancient art.
Why do you want people to fish so badly?
It hungers.
Where should I cast my rod?
Should you cast in the forest, steer away from the trees and head to the water. The waters around the old Ohio River adventures are a good place to start.
I'm gone fishing then.
After ye best the beasts of the deep, be sure to mark your catches in my fishing ledger. Watch yourself out there.
It hungers, he said. Linda Lee hungers for the bits of common fish, but something else hungers for rarer fish. What is this something else? Well, he mentioned a ledger, and so I tried to spend some time looking for it. We couldn't interact with the book on the table right in front of him. However, nearby we do find a tinkerer's workbench. I figured I could craft or upgrade my invisible magical fishing rod from this. And sure enough, if we go to modify, inside the tinkerer's workbench we find a janky rod. But we can't actually craft upgrades for it. Instead, we have to unlock upgrades by completing challenges in the world. For example, one of the challenges is to catch all common fish types. At length, I finally did so, and the reward is the rocket bobber. Once unlocked, we can go to the tinkerer's workbench, and we find that the rocket bobber is now available as an upgrade option. Many of these upgrades will increase the stats of our janky rod, making it easier to fish. By completing our first fishing quest, Catch 2 Fish, we complete a challenge and we get a plan for a Mark I reel. We have to learn this plan after it appears in our inventory, and once learned, we can use a tinkerer's workbench to attach a Mark I reel to our janky rod. This reel will increase our rotation speed by 30, though some of them are just cosmetic, like the rocket bobber. If we switch from modify to craft, we find an option to craft a janky rod replica, which is just a display item for our camp. Continuing to search for this ledger that he mentioned, we find a holotape by a ham radio. Captain's log, number 1.
Ever since I washed up on these shores, my mind's felt more and more adrift. I'm hoping this might be a way to keep me anchored. My name is Captain Raymond Clark. My father was a bosun, and so was his father before him. My mother's name was Deirdre. and she had long flaxen hair. This is foolish. How do I stop this thing?
Clark says that his mind is growing more and more adrift. What does that mean? On a table in this room, we find diary excerpts number 1. Entry 1. Sold most of our catches for far cheaper than we ought this month, but I just can't bear to see the state of the poor souls that we meet in the ports. Least this way they can fill their bellies for a night. The men think I've gone soft, but they're forgetting how easy we've got it. Entry 2. Spied some almighty shadows beneath the ship of late. These waters grow more treacherous with every passing day. If it's not the sea herself, it's the creatures within. Entry 3. Blessed Poseidon, have mercy on our wretched souls. This storm has raged at us for 3 days and nights. It didn't give us the faintest warning of its coming, either. She better blow over soon, for Linda Lee can't take much more of this abuse. So Raymond Clark was a fishing boat captain. He had a crew and they were pretty successful. He sold his fish to the unfortunate at lower prices because he felt sorry for them. But one day, while at sea, he saw large shadows in the water beneath his ship, the Linda Lee. And then he and his crew got caught in a storm for at least 3 days and nights. Continuing to explore Fisherman's Rest, we see a note lying on a rowboat. Boat notice. Fishing boat notice. Please remember to return all fishing boats to the lake entrance when you're finished. Boats left around the lake or on the island will result in a fine. Thank you for your cooperation, Valley Lake staff. So this is a pre-war note. This place was called Valley Lake before the bombs dropped, and the shack on this island rented out boats for people to go on fishing adventures. Continuing to explore for this elusive ledger, we find a holotape Captain's Log number 2 sitting on the southern dock.
It's been a few weeks or months since I recorded one of these. A whole season seemed to go by without my noticing. My head's been so clouded I can barely keep track of what state we're in. Come on, Raymond, hold it together. My name is Captain Raymond Clark. My father was a bosun. My mother's name was oh, confound it!
Something is affecting his memory. With each new recording, he's forgetting a piece of his own story. Continuing to explore, we find a capstash in an outhouse, and on a table in the middle of the island is a bloody piece of paper. It's called the Deep Note. What is this? Immediately we recognize 2 images. On the bottom is some sort of obelisk. It's very reminiscent to the ones that the Lone Wanderer discovered in the basement of the Dunwich building during the events of Fallout 3. Very similar to the small obelisk we found in the Lucky Hole mine. And the organic-looking thing at the top is clearly a depiction of the interloper, the firstborn of the wood. The woody, fleshy thing we found growing in a hidden chamber inside Lucky Hole Mine. But there's text on this note as well. It's scrawled in such a scribbled hand that we can barely read it. If we try to view a transcript, it comes up blank. What does this say? This top word I can't decipher. This one looks like began? Shapes? Delay, maybe? And then here we've got another shape. Share them. Og something. Rand feed? Or maybe these two are the same word and they're split by the obelisk. Sheog, Thenning, Rand Theed? I don't know. I can't decipher it. I can't figure it out. Maybe you guys will have a better chance than me. This note was likely written by Randall Clark. The he that's been affecting his mind is none other than the interloper. Who are they feeding? Well, they're likely feeding the interloper. Why? We don't know why. Let's see if we can find more clues. On a barrel next to Linda Lee, is one final holotape, Captain's Log number 3.
My name is Captain. Captain. I'm a captain. It's my job to fish. To catch as many fish as we can. My father was a fish, and my mother.
Okay. He really is in trouble. Turning around and heading towards a large tree we see off in the distance, we find a note on a table. Diary excerpts number 2. Entry 4. I feel I must be dreaming. I've woken up ashore? God knows how. Flashes of terrible visions plague my mind. I'll be damned if I can tell whether they're nightmares or memories, though. Same figure, always lurking in them. It's hard to know what's real or not anymore, especially now I'm plagued with these strange urges. Entry 5. Been following them for so long now, doing all kinds of strange things. Anything to stop the pain. Find myself in agony often. Or is it ecstasy? This hermit crab capsized his ship, the Linda Lee, at sea. Presumably, he lost his crew. Something, presumably the interloper, has been giving Clark strange urges. He submits to these urges in order to stop the pain. It must be a psychic pain. We saw him wincing in pain when we talked with him. That was all I could find on the island. Still no sign of this ledger he told us to fill. Looking across the water, I did see something on a rock. It looked kind of like a note. I tried to get closer and leapt upon a small island along the way. On this island, in a tent, was the body of a diver. His inventory was empty, but in a chem cooler next to him, I found 2 pieces of improved bait. So there are better baits than the common one we've used, but we can't buy improved bait. However, we can find it. On the other shore, I discovered that what I saw from the island was just a teddy bear, surrounded by empty beer bottles holding a fishing pole. But nearby, we find a grisly scene. Wow! A huge pile of gore and viscera with clear signs of explosions. Black powder chars the rocks. Nearby we find a dynamite crate with some dynamite still inside. And pinned to the crate with a knife is the note, sleeping with the fishes. Blast fishing. Step 1, find dynamite. Step 2, find a fishing lake. Step 3, find a good fishing mark. Step 4, light the dynamite. The reference book page numbers were smudged. It's unclear what the second number was. Testing required. Hold for 10, 16, 18 seconds. Step 5, reap the rewards. Well, it looks like this guy tested the 18 seconds first. Probably should have started at the lower number. And this is all that remains of him. Whoa! Nope, there's his head. Yep, that's his head. Well, the poor guy. Doing a loop of this lake, we find a beaver dam with a bunch of beavers nearby and a southern dock. Near to the southern dock are 2 fully clothed skeletons. There's a tin of rat poison on the rock behind them, and next to a note is 1 wedding ring. Reading the note, star-crossed lovers, my dearest Rose, I have wandered through my life feeling numb, resigning myself to fleeting and shallow forms of happiness. Then one fateful day, you entered my life and rekindled the joy I thought was lost forever inside the dark abyss of my soul. A mere flutter of your Atlantic eyes or your heavenly smile greeting me at the bedroom door had the uncontrollable power to magnetize happiness back into my very core. You and I are well aware, my dear, that I've lived a hard life. I thought I understood loss, that I and it were even one and the same, but I came to understand that true loss is knowing you hold something more precious than life itself. For me, that's you, and it's always been you. It will be you forevermore. The thought of losing you forever makes my life feel incomplete and hollow. It's simply no life at all if you're not by my side. You're engaged to another man, yet you cannot deny that our pasts still haunt us. Yet this is my last chance to win your heart. I don't intend to just keel over and accept this fate. For once in my life, I choose to fight for our future. If your heart still yearns for me, as mine does for you, meet me at our special spot by the pond at 10 p.m. on Friday. Should you decide not to come, I will accept your answer and will honor your wishes, leaving your life forever. Yours eternally, Patrick. On the night of Friday, October 22nd, 2077, Patrick and his affianced lover met here by the rocks at their special place. But what happened then? We find this tin of rat poison and a wedding ring. Only one wedding ring. It was hers. It was the ring her fiancé gave her. Why is it not on her hand? She came because she clearly had feelings for Patrick. But instead of just breaking up with the other guy and running off together, she decided to take off her wedding ring, and the two of them together consumed rat poison? Why? Was she that afraid of breaking up with her fiancé? She'd rather choose death than break up with him? Or could it be something more sinister? Maybe she came to this spot for closure with Patrick, but she still loved her fiancé. She refused to break up with him, and so Patrick poisoned her. Once she died, he then slipped off the engagement ring and then consumed the poison himself. Or maybe we've got a Romeo and Juliet thing going on here. Maybe Patrick waited late into the night. She never came, and true to his word, he promised to stay out of her life forever by consuming the rat poison. But just shortly after he dies, she arrives, sees what he's done, unable to bear with the grief of his death, tears off her wedding ring, places it on the rock, and consumes rat poison herself. All right, well, that is some dark environmental storytelling. But we don't find any ledger, and we have a daily quest to complete that Raymond Clark just gave us. He wanted us to go to the Ohio River Adventures. This location will change every time we get a new version of this daily quest. Talking with Raymond about this is a great way to find deep water in each zone. Some areas don't have a lot of deep water, like the Cranberry Bog. And by talking with him, he'll tell us exactly where we need to go.
Nothing good ever happens in a bog. Not much fishing to do there, neither. I've heard tales of fish being caught in the old quarry. X3, I think its name was.
But for now, we need to go to the forest, so heading to the Ohio River Adventures, I chose to fish in the waters next to this Jangles the Moon Monkey who was golfing, and I tried using the improved bait. I had more improved bait than the two that I found in that cooler, because by completing other quests and events, we can get improved bait as a reward. The difference between the improved bait and the common bait is that improved bait increases our chances of hooking rare fish. For example, using common bait gives us only a 1% chance to hook a glowing fish. Using improved bait gives us a 4% chance to hook a glowing fish. Using superb bait, the best kind of bait, increases that chance to 12%. However, using improved bait with a rod that we haven't upgraded yet is a waste, because even if we hook a rarer fish, that fish is going to struggle harder and we're not going to be able to reel it in with our janky rod. So it's better to improve our rod first and then use the rarer baits with an improved rod. I didn't realize this at the time, and so I used up all of my improved bait until it was exhausted. And of course, I didn't hook a single rare fish. If we're really unlucky, we can catch random pieces of junk. Some of it is more rare than others. A military ammo bag, for example, is a rarer piece of junk, but we can get toothbrushes and oil cans and other more common pieces of junk. After completing a number of events and daily quests, I never got any superb bait. I discovered that we can get superb bait by increasing our score rank, and we level our score rank by completing challenges and events. Increasing our rank opens up new pages we can purchase from, and we purchase items on these pages using tickets, which we are granted every time we increase our score rank. 5 superb bait costs 20 tickets, at least this first time. On page 4, 5 superb bait is going for 15 tickets. But on the bonus page, 5 superb bait is going for 75 tickets. If we're really struggling getting the better baits, we could always buy the Atomic Angler Bundle DLC. This bundle comes with a variety of cosmetics, as well as a live bait barrel, a new camp item which periodically generates bait. The bundle costs $30. I didn't buy it myself, but I read some reviews from people who did, and most people are saying that the live bait bucket primarily produces common bait, which we can already purchase from the Fisherman and Raymond Clark. It does produce improved bait, but very rarely, and I didn't see anybody claim that they ever got any superb bait from the live bait bucket, which again you can only get by purchasing as part of a bundle for $30. With a bag full of junk and common fish, I went back to Raymond Clark to turn them in.
Aren't you supposed to be fishing? Back already, I see. You got those fish dancing on your line, eh?
I've got some questions about fishing.
Go ahead.
Where can I find other types of fish?
There be many sorts of strange fish all across this wretched land. Curiously, every one of these Appalachian regions seems to have left its own particular mark on them, in some way or another. However far afield you wander, don't be afraid to bring us back any oddities you find.
Are there different rods I can use?
Rods? Oh, aye, rods. You're sure to find a bevy of parts out there in your travels. Some might even give you an edge if you're lucky. Every angler makes their rod their own in one way or another.
Despite what he says here, we don't actually find rod parts out in the world. We can only unlock them by completing challenges. What are the different baits for?
Our common chum can be used just about anywhere. But if that's not doing the job, the finer quality baits out there will have you hooking all manner of fish in no time. Who knows what you might drag up with one of those on your line?
He doesn't tell us where to get these baits, but as we just covered, we can sometimes find improved baits inside coolers and lunchboxes and other containers, but our primary way of getting improved baits is by completing challenges and quests, and our only way of getting superb baits is by buying it with tickets. I'd like to ask about the area.
Aye, if you must.
How did you get here?
In truth, I haven't the slightest inkling. 1 minute I was... What I be meaning to say is that we've travelled in from the east, sampling as many catches as this place has to offer. And now we're looking to share this ancient art form and sell quality equipment to fine customers such as yourself.
What do you do with all these fish?
We... My mind's a fog on that one. But never ye mind that. Bring us the fish we ask for, and maybe it'll jog me memory.
Is that a giant crab back there?
That monster is the one... That elegant crustacean is the Linda Lee. She is a mighty fine vessel. She deals with the fish that my friend here no longer wants. And she carries us from place to place.
That's all for now.
Aye, so be it.
Now that we have all of the fish necessary to complete our daily quest, we see that the book on the table in front of Raymond is now highlighted. At last we can interact with it. This was Captain Raymond's ledger after all. After interacting with it, we complete the daily quest, Big Fish in a Small Pond, and we get a variety of rewards, including new camp plans that are unique to this update, as well as common and improved baits. We got the impression from that dialogue that it was the crab who capsized the Linda Lee, turning it into his shell and presumably killing the rest of Raymond Clark's crew. Raymond told us that it hungers. On a note, we saw a depiction of the interloper. We asked him where all of the fish went, and he said that he didn't know. What happens if we visit the interloper? Heading back to the Lucky Hole mine, we can blast our way through the cultists, finding our way into the hidden back room. After defeating the cultists here, we find the interloper, just where he's always been. But now, there are big baskets of fish all over the cave floor. Some at the base of the obelisk, some right next to the interloper, some directly in front of the interloper's tentacles. The interloper is using psychic powers and possibly working through the fisherman to convince Raymond Clark to gather fish for him. The stranger, the better. What does the interloper gain by eating these fish? Do they increase its psychic abilities? Do they allow it to project itself further into Appalachia? Sadly, as with most of the Lovecraftian elements of this franchise, we're now left with more questions than answers. But what are your thoughts? Why do you think the interloper wants all these fish? And do you think Raymond Clark will ever free himself of the interloper's influence? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you soon with new Fallout videos.